If your company is interested in seeing how we can meet your business needs, call Conroe ISD Special Education Department to find the best employees for you at 936-709-7671.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We've got a really good show, and it'll make you young at heart. That's just a tease. I'm not going to tell you exactly everything that's going to happen, but that's a tease. But first of all, we have to thank our sponsor, our angel, the Wootton Foundation, the Wootton Financial Plan. The Wootton Financial Group. They're a group. Well, whatever they are together. They're really good together. And we love them, and they have done so much for this show. I can't tell you. What a lift when they came in and said, we want to sponsor your show. I said, have you heard the show? Oh, yeah, you heard the show, so it's fine. No, but he actually is our financial planner, and we love him. We've known him for like over 10 years, and he's done great things for me. For us, and my husband likes him. He doesn't like anybody. He doesn't like anybody, anything, but he would endorse this guy for president if he wanted to run. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. But anyway, so today is National Pretzel Day, and I got to tell you, when I found that out, we've got all these things going on all over the world. You know, war's about to go. We got, presidential elections coming up and all this. But today, we want to just stop and think about pretzels, and we want to have a National Pretzel Day. Now, the pretzels that I love are the big fat, with the big fat salt on them, and they sell them, they're always hanging on. Those are the best pretzels. But I don't know if people don't think of them as pretzels. They think that's not really a pretzel. But I love those pretzels. And you can get them at any bowling alley. But that was a tease for what's coming up. But anyway, I wanted to also talk to you about, I've got an idea for all this stuff about Leah Thompson, becoming a woman. Until they have a period every month, they can't be considered a woman. And so, but I think that the girl that was talking about, she had, she could have beaten any other girl, but Leah Thomas, she couldn't because he's a guy. And they've been so upset, and I don't blame them at all. So what I think she should do, I think she should come in for the next tournament that they have, or whatever what they call it, competition they have, and say, listen, we've changed the rules. Now I'm going to have a pinch swimmer, and I think this is going to level the field. He was the Olympic gold winner last year, and so anyway, that's who's going to be swimming for me in my lane. Okay, thank you very much. And then go on with it, because what could they do? I mean, they ought to make up, if they made up the rules about letting the guys come in and swim with the girls, so she can just say, okay, this is how I'm going to fix it. I'm going to have a pinch swimmer. Okay, so that's my recommendation. And what do you think, Richard? You'd like it? He's just sitting there.
I didn't realize you're such a swim fan.
No.
So giving recommendations on something you don't really care about?
No, this is a recommendation that I think women should be swimming against other women, and let that, but if the guys are going to swim, great. Then I'm going to get my guy to swim for me. Wouldn't that be fair?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's all about what game you're playing.
Well, I think that's going to, I think eventually that's got to happen. Or that everybody that wants to trans can trans into a whole league, and that's what they, they're all together.
And you would definitely watch that, because you don't already watch swimming. Like, you have no involvement with swimming at all.
I did whenever Mark, what's his face, was swimming.
Again, what's his face?
Mark Spence. Well, it's close. What's his face?
What was that?
What's
6
Spence?
years
Mark
ago?
Spence. Spence.
Was that?
Spitz, like spit. Oh, he should.
Yeah.
He should change his
I think
name.
I read that he's actually a woman.
They have to look at women's activities, because men and men should not be competing against each other
Right.
on a regular level field. I mean, they can't. So
I say go for it. There's blood in the water. Just get it.
Well-
So how's that going to work if they do that in tennis? You can have a mixed singles category.
I think it's whoever pays the most money, you let them play. That's how you do it. Yeah. Why not?
If in the Army, they let women, they don't have to do the same kind of test that the men do, because they know they can't do it. So they dumb it down for the women to do it, and that just is insulting. So, but they understand it. There's a difference between the woman and the man. And so we're going to have a biology lesson sometime this week, and we'll let Richard define what's a woman.
You have a big investment in swimming, though. I still want to make sure.
I don't have any investment.
So
in
what
the
does
swimming.
it matter to you?
It's because I'm a woman, and if I trained as long as these women have,
They don't
and
train
have
at
the
all.
body they have,
They don't
and so-
train at all.
Oh,
There's no training involved in
Ooh,
swimming.
We're going to get letters, and please make them to Richard Schischler. And
Richard
so they need to be on a level playing field. Not that there shouldn't be better swimmers than other swimmers, and that's all their talent.
They should just get rid of swimming altogether.
Thank
It's
you,
not just about
Richard. That's
swimming.
no. And it's then it moves into the
Yeah.
dressing room, which you really want to talk about, I know. And the guys, Leah Thomas told the first time he went in there, and he competed. He came in. He says, I'm trans, and then he took his clothes off. And before they understood, like, you're what
Yeah.
and you're how. So this doesn't make sense at all. It'd be different if it was a woman coming in telling the guys, now look, you're going to be probably insulted, but I'm going to take all my clothes off. And so it probably wouldn't work the same way, right? The guys wouldn't care.
Guys
They
wouldn't
was-
care at all.
Okay, so
No, they wouldn't.
see, it's just not right. So anyway,
Well, women just need to be like the guys and just let it do what's in the locker room.
well, no, yeah.
You ever been in a guy's locker room? They don't care.
Yes, I was one of the first women that went into the Rockets locker room
we
to
just
interview
we
them.
just convince men to be aware of staff. So wear your sandals in the shower and clean your body, because there's staff everywhere in a men's locker room,
True, yeah.
and they're just now getting that.
They're just now
Well,
understanding.
they're just now understanding it.
It's so bad. Look, John Bouche is sitting over here, and is just wondering,
He's a big swimmer.
when is this?
I'm big, yeah. You're right.
When is this going to happen in the bowling world? Where it doesn't matter, does it? No, they don't have that problem.
different leagues.
Well, they do,
Or
but
different gender leagues, I guess.
that's right. But I mean, probably a woman that's really, really good could probably compete with men. Just I played racquetball. I played with the guys. Now, when I got hit by the ball, it was a different feeling than it was. But the girls would hit you. But but the skill level, you could have this.
But
I think that's what it
there's
is.
still women's pro bowling and
Yeah.
there's men's pro bowling.
Yeah, but you've got them
They're
separated.
separate. Well,
Yes.
and most sports have that. So why are people be able to come in and say, okay, I identify
Just
as
do one
a
league.
man, so why can't I go with
Just
the
do
men?
one
But
league.
there are
I
games.
identify as a rich person, but I'm not.
There
so-
are games that you could play though, like darts, ping pong, billiards. There are games like that, but sports that require physical, jumping, running, all that stuff. I mean, imagine if LeBron James tomorrow decided he was a woman. He'd score like 980 points every game in the WNBA, right?
And they couldn't, and they wouldn't say anything because they'd be scared to death of him, and then of what other people would think about him.
You were
It's
talking
just-
about Riley Gaines earlier, who was the one that lost to
Riley,
Leah
that's it.
Thomas, and she,
Yes.
when she went to speak at a school, they cornered her in a room and attacked her and said, "We'll only let you out of here as if you pay us money." I mean, that's kidnapping. I mean, but there's a different set of rules for these nutty people. You got your mouth open because you can't believe it, but it's
No,
absolutely true.
It's pretty
No.
wild.
Yeah, it happened.
No, I saw the attack that started happening. She had to be taken out with security, but I didn't know they cornered her and said
Yeah,
you can't
they locked
come
her
out
in a
unless
room,
you.
so you can't come out unless
Unless
you
you
pay us
pay.
money. One of the people was
Ooh.
on video.
Sounds
saying
like
that.
college.
Sounds like, I wonder how long it takes once they leave that college to change change their mind and
About kidnapping?
no about being normal again because they're so
How long before the
weird.
brainwashing wears off?
Yes,
My daughter went to
exactly.
college and she was raised in a Christian home, and she called me one day and said, Dad, I didn't realize gender and sex are two different things. I said, your professor is retarded. Ignore them. And we went back and forth about this for a long time, and she finally figured it out.
Oh my.
They do. They brainwash them in college, even way more than they thought about in high school.
Yes,
My daughter
exactly.
came home with all these far-fetched ideas, and we'd have to sit down and discuss why the college professors were wrong about what they were telling her.
Now you see how exciting this talk is, and all this. And we're talking to people that are going to tell you even something, even more that's going to be coming up. And if you're conservative, you'll love it. If you're liberal, you'll go like, what?
What
are
they
doing?
need to do is just make it one deal and see how the world
Just
folds
one
with
league?
that. Just everything's one competition.
But the men will always win.
Well, no. I mean, probably.
Most
but-
of the time,
Most-
they
Yes.
will.
Depends on
You
what
know
you're
that,
playing.
Richard. Most
Well, I
of
mean,
the
everything. Every competition, there should just be one league. Just go for it.
I mean, if
Let's
they
just go for it.
turn shopping into a competition, I'm sure we'd have trouble. with that,
Right?
No, I don't know. Guys are getting pretty good with Amazon.
Ooh, that was so.
No, grocery shopping. I walk in, I'm totally lost. I'm one of those people
That's 'cause
roaming
you're out of
around the
practice.
store like, Mom,
You're out- you're out of
I have no idea
practice.
what I'm doing.
And multitasking, y'all usually can't beat women
That's
at that.
right. You cannot put your lipstick on and drive.
You know that
and-
And yell at the
Professional-
kids
The
The
and
professional Excel spreadsheet worldwide tournament is dominated by women, I think.
It is. It's dominated by
Yeah,
women.
have you seen this?
no.
There's like actual competitions with Excel, Microsoft Excel, and they present like a business, a fake business, and they're like, you have 18 hours to get this result with the books or with this or with that, and they have to use just Excel, nothing else.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
It can do so much. I mean, people amaze me sometimes at what they can do
And they
in
can-
the program.
Look, God didn't make us to be the same. He made us to be different. So it's not better, it's just different. Women
Just
women
different.
complement men, men complement women. That's just how it's supposed
What-
to
It's a
work.
balance
What
of
about
nature.
the slapping league?
The what?
You ever seen the slapping?
Power
The
slap.
slapping competition.
Oh yes, yeah. That's we need more
No.
to do as a country. We don't
I
need
like it.
AI taking over a lot.
We're
We need all
devolving.
those jobs.
The biggest sports now are the gladiator sports, MMA, and you got bare knuckle boxing now. These things are huge. We're devolving. We went
That's-
one way. now
Well, they've
we're-
always
That's
been around.
wonderful.
Yeah, but it's not been like to this level, man.
I mean, boxing has always been a huge sport for the past 100 years. When you think of icons.
Right, but you had gloves on. You had more
That's
rules.
that's
you
still
didn't have,
gladiator sport. I mean, people
now it's
die.
gladiator. Now it's more gladiator.
See? Okay.
In the octagon.
So, Chris Wootton, I haven't forgotten you, and the financial group that you have is so wonderful, and we want to make sure everybody knows that you've been in business 20 years, so it's not like you just started. You're not a new
Okay.
kid on the block, okay? And we're going to go to a break right now, and then come back, and then we're going to dive into why these two people are sitting across from me. They've already commented on, on all the social things of today. And so remember, it's National Pretzel Day, so go out and buy a pretzel and make somebody happy. And we'll be right back. Don't you go away.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process of helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
And we're back. Okay, we're talking about the Montgomery County Republican bowling tournament that's coming up, and they're going to raise money to get out the vote. And so I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be great. And I'm so proud of y'all. And who we have with us representing the Montgomery County Republican Bowling League is John Bouche and Jackie Williams. And see, without even looking at anything, I remembered y'all's names.
Yay.
It's so great. Now, let me just, this is going to be a sidebar, but John is a real estate person. He's a realtor, and in Montgomery County. So listen closely to everything he says and go, do I want to have that guy in my house? And do I want to have him sell me a house? Yeah. No, he's been great. He just said something that was so funny. I said, why didn't you say that when we were on the air? That would have brought a lot to it, because he was making fun of my, getting excited about National Pretzel Day. And he thought we were going to get all twisted and salty about it. So anyway, that was really funny, and I love that. All right, John, now you are the vice chair.
That's correct.
Okay, and you are the precinct chair
I'm a
of
precinct
107.
chair. Yes.
How many do you have? 107?
111.
111 precincts.
Precinct chairs.
Wow. And so you're going to, at what time, at what place are you going to send all those people out that you've been training to go get votes? When will that happen?
Well, prior to election, precinct chairs should be active all year round in their precincts. I mean, their constituents should know, like, and trust them throughout the year. At election time, when some group shows up and says, hey, we're the Republican Party or whatever, they'll know different, because there's a lot of that identity theft that goes on in elections. You see it a lot.
Yes.
So the 111 precinct chairs, they meet at a CEC meeting a few times a year. Quarterly meetings are necessary. They have emergency meetings and special meetings also. The next one is June 6th at the Knights of Columbus Club on 1488. It starts at 6:30. Everybody's welcome. It's open to the public if you want to come see what the Republican Party is doing. Again, June 6th at the Knights of Columbus on 1488, 6:30 p.m. We have the bowling tournament, which we're raising money to get out the vote, which Jackie will talk about a little bit. But the biggest one for me, on 5/13, on May 13th, we're having a full Armor of God prayer event for all our elected officials in this county. It's Montgomery County Praise. We're going to meet at Grace Church. 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. And we're going to come and I'll just pray over our elected officials because I think they need it.
Yes, because a lot of them probably don't have a prayer. And so that would be excellent to do
What's the
that.
location of the Grace Church?
Grace Church is at the corner of Rayford Sawdust Road.
Yes.
It's on the southeast corner near the Lexus dealership in the Spring area. It is Grace Community Church. Pastor Steve Riggle is a pastor there. And again, that's 9 a.m. On May 13th at Grace Church.
Please tell him I would love to have him on the show and talk about what he might add in that prayer and what might be coming up on that prayer, because there's so many things to pray about. Is it an all-day thing?
No, it's just a 2-hour meeting.
Okay.
It really is just to come together to pray over our people. I did ask Brandon Creighton, who's a very powerful senator, he's from Montgomery County, to come and talk a little bit about what's going on in Austin right now during this legislative session. So he is going to be speaking at the event. There's another, fingers crossed, featured speaker we're trying to get. Hopefully that'll happen. And, really we're just looking forward to bringing the community together to
Right.
pray over our elected officials.
I am so excited about that. That's wonderful. So please, if, as it gets closer and stuff, if you'd like to come talk, that would be.
Yeah, you got my number
Okay.
anytime.
Okay, you're the hookup. Okay, you're gonna say, hey, you got to go on this show, and don't be afraid. Don't be really afraid. But you are a realtor, and you're in the Montgomery County, and you do Woodlands
Yeah, I
and
do.
Houston.
Yeah, I do this entire region. My number's 281-907-3989. If anybody has any real estate questions, I'd be more than happy to help them with that. Or BoucheRealty.com. You can go there.
BoucheRealty.com. I just love saying that, John Boucher.
Yeah, I had a broker used to call John Paul Boucher. He used to call me all the time. She just likes saying my name for some reason. Sort of rolls off the tongue. I'm going to change it.
What?
Change my name.
No, you're not.
Let's be JP.
We'll change it to Dylan Mulvaney or something. I won't do
No,
that.
and so is that French heritage or?
Yes, I'm from New Orleans, born and raised.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're really Boucher. Yeah.
Et là-bas.
Let's see.
Ma
Non.
français est très mauvais. Si tu parles très vite, je ne comprends pas.
Allons en France, du patria. That's all I remember. That how long I took French, and all I remember is Allons en France, du patria. That was it. That was it. That's all I remember. And I don't know what those words mean. I hope it wasn't bad.
My
But
French is not good. So.
it isn't.
No.
It's okay then. Just if you do the accent. No, that sounds Italian. Yeah, work on that, John, because that probably would help you sell more houses. You come in.
No, there's not a lot of French people here in Montgomery County.
No, but women just love to hear that French accent. That's just so cool. So just you work on that. Well,
Yeah.
I think it'll up your sales. So Jackie,
Yes.
Jackie,
Let's talk about the.
let's talk about that
Yes.
bowling tournament.
So the Montgomery County Republican Party is going to have several fundraising projects as well as community projects throughout the year. This is our first one of the year. It's a bowling tournament. Our sole purpose of collecting money is to support the local GOP. It is a responsibility of the local Republican Party to raise or solicit the funds, to print and mail voter guides, as well as pay office lease payment and other expenses. Our primary focus is get out the vote. We want to make sure that we're at the polls, we're in our
Right.
neighborhoods,
Right.
handing out flyers and trying to make sure our conservative GOP get elected.
Yes, ma'am.
The tournament is April 30th, which is this coming Sunday at 1 o'clock. The registration for last minute people showing up is noon. We're going to have first place prize of $500, second place of $250, third place of $100, and the high scratch person wins a Remington shotgun.
That is a Republican tournament.
That's
I
right.
like that. Okay.
We still have bowling spots available. It's $50 per person or $100 for doubles because this is a doubles tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's no taps, which means if on your first ball you throw a 9, you throw 9 pins, then it's automatically a strike. So
Ooh.
it makes it kind of even for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
even young people can show up and get 9 pins.
Yeah, because by accident, a lot of times you get 9 pins.
That's right.
You're like, what?
That's right.
That last minute turn.
We still are allowing sign up at our website, which is mctxgop.org. All information you want to know about Montgomery County is mctxgop.org.
So M stands for Montgomery, and then county, and then T for Texas, and .org.
GOP.
GOP. Oh, yeah, we need the.
.org.
That's so many letters.
Yeah.
MCTX.
I put it in the description.
Thank you.
I put it in the description
Oh,
on Facebook
okay.
and YouTube
Awesome.
and
Okay.
podcasts.
Yes.
Links
We're also
to
going to
It's
have
in
a
the
silent
description.
auction, and there's going to be a lady there selling books that are Christian, and a guy selling Republican-type T-shirts, promoting GOP. Later this year, we're going to have a cook-off and family day. We're also planning a golf tournament, a gala, and then early next year, crawfish boil. And sometime we're going to try and work in a dinner cruise, which we think is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, on what? Where would you go to get the cruise?
What is that one that's on Lake Conroe?
Yeah, is it still on there?
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
grief on me, Fee. That's, I'm talking about. You know what she's talking about? You've never been on that cruise?
It's a little
It's
paddle
so-
cruise boat
Yeah,
thing on
it's
Lake
like a
Conroe.
real-
Okay, I think I know.
It's a real paddle boat.
Yes.
That's what was
Yeah, so
cool
we're trying to
about
plan a
it.
dinner
Yeah.
cruise for that. So
That is
yeah, so
very
we've got a lot of
cool.
exciting things
Y'all
planned
are busy.
going forward, trying to raise some funds so we can get out the vote.
And make your footprint in this county.
That's right. We're
And-
trying to keep Montgomery County red.
Yes, yeah, and all those people coming in trying to purple up the place. You
That's
don't
right.
want to happen.
That's
You-
right.
because they just don't understand. I think they're coming in. They want to be here where, the taxes are better. They all the stuff they want to take advantage of.
Yes.
Here, and they still want to vote that got them in the trouble in the first place. And so,
That's what's so
that is
surprising is that
orientation.
you've got a place that's red. You've got Texas, who everybody wants to move here. Californians move here. Everybody moves here.
Right.
And then they want to change it and make it not red anymore. Why do that? If you don't want to be red, if you don't want to be GOP, if you don't like all the conservative Christian values that we stand for,
Right.
pick another state.
yeah,
Pick another county.
Yeah.
But we need to stay red. So we really need to do everything we can to promote staying red.
and if they can't, when they get to the border of Texas, and they say, okay, before you come in, if you could draw in the sand, elephant, we're good. Come on. Because I feel like that's where we're going. Because a lot of people don't want to say I'm a Republican because they think you're, so just go to drawing the elephant in the sand, and you're in. But I think if you want to, you can use that.
That's funny.
Look at Richard looking at me. You don't know what to say to that, do you? Don't say
I can turn off your mic.
Yes. Yeah, I have to be very careful because I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to persuade them to do anything they don't want to do. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I said
That's
it
my
right.
job. I'll do that.
Okay.
Well, I got a question for you guys. What's kind of like the overall strategy for the GOP to attract new voters when it comes to like their age and especially if they move here? Because you're making that comment about a lot of people moving here. I feel like there's an opportunity to politically convince them to change their mind. So what strategies does the GOP have to change people's minds?
Everybody looks at me. Well, I think the strategy of is best shown by looking at what the opposition is doing and the destruction they're doing to this country. I think traditional families are important. I think that's been proven. I think individual responsibility. If you just read the preamble of the Republican Party, it talks about God and family and individual responsibility and accountability. And those are things a lot of people don't like to hear as a young person. I raised 3 kids, and explaining to them about individual responsibility is not something they want to hear. So it is a heavy lift. I mean, there's freedom and there's free stuff. I mean, we're fighting against the free stuff people, and we're trying to explain how freedom works. And I think when the real world hits, and COVID was a great example. I mean, these people were in a full panic because they couldn't do things for themselves. And I think that was a real wake-up call for a lot of them. So I'm watching our numbers grow, which is nice. I'm seeing a lot younger people at the Tea Party meetings when we have those.
Oh, that's
Which
great.
I didn't see before. Did y'all see the video of Dan Crenshaw getting kind of lampooned by the young lady at the Tea Party meeting for his comments
A while
about,
back, yeah.
about Superman? Okay, the guy holding the mic was me. That was in the middle of that. So it was a young lady. So we are seeing some youth coming into the movement. But it's up to us to explain to them why it's important for their future and for their children's future to have that individual accountability and responsibility. When you rely on government, they're going to let you down. You know, we fight that. You mentioned purple a little while ago. We fight that in this county all the time because, you know, 46% of Texas voted for Hillary Clinton. We talk about how red we are, but that's too close for me, right? And when we ran the last round of races here a couple of times ago, we had people in this county that were out there under the Republican banner in our primary, because we have open primaries in Texas. Y'all know that, right? You can cross over. They were working hand in hand with the Democrats against the conservatives. So we have a lot of work to do in this county in that regard. But I agree with you. The youth movement, we've been trying to get more people to come to the meetings, and we have music and we have fun and we have bowling tournaments, and we're just trying to make it exciting so we're not the party of 70-year-old people sitting in a room talking about the good old days.
And when we do some of our fundraisers, like the cook-off and family day and the crawfish boil, we try to have voter registration tables there. And there's also always people there that you can sit down and talk to about what we stand for. And, you know, but that's part of the outreach, is having these community outreach fundraisers, these projects. Some things are not even a fundraiser. Some things it's just a family get-together. So,
Well,
but we always try to do
Republicans-
sign-up and
The
stuff.
Young Republican School Organization, you know, we are involved in those. We have young people involved in that. What's the other one? Turning Point. That was another one that was started here in the Woodlands by Connor Ernest, one of the precinct chair's children. The you remember the big stink with the teacher being recorded doing all the wokeism stuff to people here in the Woodlands High School?
Yeah.
That was Connor that recorded her and released that video to Charlie Kirk. And because that's what you usually have here in the school system. It's a closed, protected deal. Your kid comes home and says, my teacher says this. The teacher says, no, I didn't. Your son's lying to you. Here's the recording. And then they go, well, you weren't supposed to record. This is the game
brother.
they play. Yeah.
Yes.
But you got to expose it. And there's a really good video you should go watch on my Facebook page of me testifying before the school board about the pornography in the schools. They didn't appreciate that very much, but it needed to be exposed.
Good for you. Oh,
we have a lot
good
of our
for you.
precinct chairs that are heavily involved in activism. They go to the school board meetings. They talk about the books that are sitting on the shelf. They talk about the different things that are going on. But there's a lot of precinct chairs that the precinct chair is almost the smallest part of what they're trying to do to help the community and protect our children.
So you have a very active party in this county is what I'm telling you. There's a reason we were the reddest county in the nation, and we're fighting to continue to be right now.
My goodness gracious, I'm so proud of you. That's great.
Well,
That
jump
is
in and
great.
help us out.
Oh,
We need all the help we can get.
Okay, well, here I am, and here you are, and you're probably talking to at least, all around the world.
Probably
And-
all conservatives already.
What?
Probably they're all listeners are conservative already. Because we're in
right.
Montgomery County, so it's
They
kind
already
of like,
vote. They're
Well,
old enough to vote. And
Yeah.
you guys, do y'all send buses around and pick up people to take them to voting?
No, that's the
Voting.
Democrats that do that.
Okay.
is that
I knew I'd-
illegal to do?
Well, there's ballot harvesting that is illegal. I'm from New Orleans. I remember they would go pick all these people up in these areas and feed them and bring them to the polls and have a concert and everything. And they couldn't tell you who they were voting for. They had no idea. So we like people to be educated about what they're voting for. It's dangerous when you're not. So that's kind of the big thing. We want people to know what they're voting for and not be deceived.
Exactly.
But that's hard to do because what's the old saying? It's easier to deceive someone than convince them that they've been deceived. So we spend a lot of time trying to correct information. That's why you'll find all this information on mctxgop.org. We have the best legislative update and alerts on our website. We have just really good educational stuff. You should go check it out. It's really good.
That's good. Oh, I'm so glad. Are y'all still in the same office down?
No.
Where's your office now?
I'm
Well,
gonna let you fill
don't.
that one.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So the last primary election, our chairman ran unopposed. He's married to a political consultant. You see the conflict of interest there? A little bit of a conflict of interest. So her clients, rely on the Republican brand. So they have, in my opinion, I've been saying they've been trying to destroy the Republican Party for a while because they don't want her client list being opposed. Everybody said I was crazy. So when he became chair of the party, he shut down the office and liquidated all the assets. Opened a new office up, calls it the Republican Club, which is his PAC, and that's where he's trying to run operations and pretend like that's the party. Now, these people did the same thing with the Tea Party in 2014. They showed up at the polls with shirts on that said Tea Party and impersonated the Tea Party. That's what they're trying to do with the Republican Party now. We're just not going to let
And they weren't
them.
Tea Party.
And there is a case before the Texas Supreme Court over this right now, by the way.
Ooh, really?
Yes. So I said, we're leading the way. We're going to fight this fight, and we're going to do the right thing.
That's great. But first, you got to come out and bowl. You got to bowl and pay that money. What is the cost of the? Can we say
It's
that?
$50.
$50.
$50 per person, and it's a doubles event. So if you don't bring someone with you, we can probably find someone to match up with. But of course, it's better if it's
It's
two
a
of
fun
you.
time.
I love the way she says 50. 50. It's 50.
50.
50.
It's
no,
100
it's-
per
it
doubles or
sounds
$50
great.
per person.
$100. Okay. All right. Well, that's not bad.
No, it's not.
And you-
it's that especially considering the prizes you can win. So
So if it's a
And the
tournament,
company you're going to get to hang out with.
that's true.
well,
That
the
too.
com- and
Because
whenever
you know who's there.
That's right. You can speak freely.
That's right.
It's okay. You
That's
won't be
right.
shut down or you won't be removed from your job. But if you have people that are coming in and that don't even know anything about, they just want to be in the tournament and they want to win the $500 and all that. Is there any educating going on during the tournament? Can they sit down with other people and they can find out during?
We're going to try and have a table there
Okay.
with literature on it and someone to speak to people that if they want to find out more about the Montgomery County
Yeah. Well,
Yes. Republican Party.
bowling has really gotten so popular. Times Square is where this is going to happen.
Yes, it's in Cut and Shoot off 105.
That's what people want to know. What is cut and
What is
shoot?
cut and shoot?
What does that mean? Well, if somebody's really bad and they get away from you, then you have to shoot 'em. You cut and run. But I think I asked someone one time, why did y'all call it cut and shoot? And they said, you probably don't want to know. So it was like, I wanted to find out. I never asked any more than that. That's all.
No,
I
think
asked.
I think that's true.
Yeah, well,
I
something
think
like that.
what they call it is because it was.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've always heard. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting backstory for
is. It
those
is.
people.
But if you want to learn more about Montgomery County Republican Party, mctxgop.org.
Okay, now who's your? Do y'all have entertainment for that during that time? Or is
The bowling
anything?
tournament, it's
Yeah.
just a bowling tournament.
It's just a bowling tournament.
with shirt sales, book sales. They're going to have brackets, which a lot of people aren't going to understand brackets, but it's where it's a regular bracket system to where two people play against each other, and then at the
where you
very
make your
end,
real
one of
money.
them wins. So
Also, it's not teams. It's it's
where you
no,
make
it's
your-
it's double singles. It's
doubles and singles.
it's doubles.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
There's
a-
two people bowling at the same time.
Yeah.
But when you get in brackets, that's like a side tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That you can pay. It's $5 a bracket.
Yeah, that's where you make your money.
That's where you make the money.
Yeah. That's where the good bowlers will come in.
Rich
get
is
in
over there
brackets.
salivating. I see a ringer coming in here.
Yes.
I do enjoy bowling. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
he's a good. Nobody knows Richard is a great bowler. So yeah, he gets in. You get in a lot of those no taps tournament, don't
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
And I help run one at 300 sometimes, so I get to. I want to know the inner workings of the bowling world.
I mean, I tagged him right off the bat that he was a great bowler. I knew that about him. It just he had
Some
to
say I'm
be
the best bowler in Montgomery County.
in Montgomery
Yeah.
County.
It's like
Do
being
you
the,
think?
I'm not commenting.
it's like being the
I've been
most,
telling people that, and people they laugh at me, and then what I love is when I see them again, like, hey, it's the best bowler in Montgomery County. I was like, you got it right, yeah.
Our church had
it's like being the best
Well,
pole vaulter in cut and
Yeah.
shoot or something. It just doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
our church had a tournament there, and for the kids, the youth group. And so I went, and my grandchild said, "Why are you going to this? Is a youth thing." I said, "Because I used to be a really good bowler. I mean, I was bowling like in 200s and stuff like that. I used to be really good." And they go, "Grandma, you know how old you are now? I mean, that doesn't keep. You don't probably. It's not like riding a bike or anything. I wouldn't do that. And so I went over and there's these 3 boys, they needed one more extra person. So I went over and told them, I said, look, I am the thing about bowling, and everybody thinks I'm gonna not be able to do it, even get the ball down the whole. So if y'all want me on your team, you need to get me now, because as soon as some people come in and see me, then they know who I am. So, and I was just being so bad. They went over the corner, they're talking to each other, and they kept looking at me, and I'm looking at them, looking at the ball now, I'm like, okay, all right, we'll take a chance. We'll take a chance on you. And the other guys were saying, no, we decided not to do it. No, we decided not to take. Okay, you're lost. And so I walked away. And so there was like a family, and they needed someone else to bowl with them. And I said, I'll bowl with y'all. And so I get up there, and by the end I think after the 3rd time I bowled, I said, those things that are coming up on the sides of the alley, is that just for your kids, or can you use that for everybody that bowls? And she said, you want that? And I went, yeah, that would be great. Unless you have the thing that I can put the ball in, and it just goes down and goes up.
Yes.
That would be even
Kids
better.
ramps.
Yes, the kid. Is it called a kid ramp?
But that's what I call it, a kid ramp.
Well, the
Yeah.
problem is I had to use such a light ball that whenever I'd take it, and then I'd swing it down there, it would. It was horrible because it would go far, but it was down that gutter that it was going far because it was so light I couldn't control it at all. But I just love bowling.
Did
Bowling
the bumpers
was
help you?
fun.
Did they put the bumpers up?
They did put the bumpers up, and they did help. But I would throw it, not. I didn't know how to angle it to make it where it would hit at a certain point and then go over.
Well, it's not- it's
John,
not-
I'm
John-
It's not cool.
You're trying to convince these people you're a great bowler, and you just tell me that everything you're throwing's in the gutter, and I'm just trying to add on.
Well, she's trying to play pool with the bumpers. is
There
what
you go, yes.
Where's the geometry coming to
Ricochet.
play?
Yeah,
The
what's
rig-
your angle?
yeah, but I didn't.
Watch those kids. It goes just like this. It keeps hitting the bumper till it finally gets down there.
Sometimes it's impressive. It's like if it hits
It
more than
is.
4 times, I'm like, man, that's pretty good.
It
You're
is.
bouncing that ball 4 times off
It's
the
like,
bumper.
who's your favorite bowler? Dick Weber, Schlegel,
Chisler.
Euclid,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Schiffler's
Isosceles, that's my
Yeah.
favorite bowler.
Okay, see that you really have to get into that's they're a big family. I mean, the people that come every they're doing their tournaments and they're there all the time. The league people that always take up all the lanes, and you come in there if you're just by yourself and you want to bowl.
Well, go to Bolero.
Go
Trash.
where?
Bolero. It's trash. Just go
Corner
there.
of Robinson Road and 45.
It's kind of like main event now,
Yeah.
Oh,
where it's
See, what's-
just more open bowling and games and stuff
What-
like
the,
that.
the
Okay.
thing you have to remember, Cindy, if you go to a house that's league bowlers, 9 times out of 10 that means they take care of their lanes. So it's really important if you want to bowl, because
Mm-hmm.
you know, someone's actually paying attention every day. Because one thing bowlers are really great at is complaining, and they'll complain until you fix it.
until you fix it.
And so you know that house is being treated right because they're getting all these complaints. It
Well,
happens.
and 300 bowl is where he bowls all the time.
Yes.
That's the only one. I thought there was
and I
only
bowl
one.
at time to spare.
Yeah.
Time spare's
And
fun.
they both cater to league bowlers.
Yes.
So they both take care of their houses.
They take
So they
care of
take
their
care of-
equipment. They take care of the floor to make sure that you're not stepping in sticky stuff and then falling when you go throw your ball. And
Right.
Yeah. They
Why
take care of it.
is it that you have to wear those shoes? Are they? Is
They're
it
stylish.
To protect the lane,
to protect the lane?
to protect the approach.
Okay.
Yes.
Do they grab or anything?
No, they
You don't-
slide. They're leather.
slide.
They're leather sole shoes
The
for
right
that
shoes
purpose.
will
So they
slide. The other
They
ones
will.
just scuff up the approach.
Okay, so you know when to start sliding.
They
so
do.
that you
They
don't
do make
over-
bowling shoes that will have less slide. So for certain type of bowlers that they just want to plant their feet, they do
Yeah.
make. But it's all about taking care of their approach. But
Well-
I have a question about GOP stuff because
Oh,
that's what we're
yes,
talking about.
Yes. Okay.
One thing I've always because I've lived here for a while, I always wondered, is Montgomery County a good place to build strong leaders? Because the people who have always been elected, it's always like a stepping stone or something like that. And looking at the surrounding people, like we had Kevin Brady, who used to be around for a long time, but then there's not really any like superstars that are from this area, unless I'm mistaken. And you think that's going to be something to shift for like a local GOP? Like, hey, we need to start getting people involved at an early age to become a strong leader in this area, and we'll have the right direction where we're trying to go, not just for a year, not just for 5 years, but like for 10, 20 years.
That's a great question. when I first got in the political arena here, and I'm from New Orleans, but I moved here in '85, so I've been here a long time, so I can claim being a Texan at this point, I think. Raised my family here. One of the most talented political people you're ever going to meet is Brandon Creighton. Brandon Creighton is a guy that can walk into any room and everybody thinks he's on their side. He is just that talented. I mean, he is really good at that. I remember one conversation I had with him. I was in a political heated thing with the good old boys around this county, and he called me up and he said, "John, I want to talk to you. You're probably one of the most talented political people I've ever met. You communicate well, you greet well, people engage with you quickly, you're really smart, you think quick on your feet. I like the way you think about things. Are you sure you want to be using your political capital like you are?" And I thought, that's the nicest I've ever been threatened by anyone, you know. And that's, so yeah, I think we do have superstar in Brandon Creighton. You know, Steve Toth is one of the 2 or 3 most conservative voters in the House here, in the Texas House, so I think he would fit that bill. But I do think we have an opportunity to build up some great leaders here. But a lot of that has to do with accountability, Richard. One of the things I wanted to do the last legislative session was to not only bring our legislators in and pray for them, but to review the legislative priorities with them before they went off to Austin to the legislative session, because we do the same thing. We say, here's the legislative priorities. They get to Austin, thousands of bills come in an avalanche on them. The end of the thing comes, you go, well, what happened to the 10 legislative priorities, or the 8 this time? What happened to them? They go, oh, I don't know. So we want to have a focus, a SWOT analysis of these things before they go in, and then a follow-up afterwards, a sandwich it, to say, okay, what happened? What can we do better next time? We have not done that. So we're trying to do what you're talking about in building a more thoughtful political movement, a more purposeful political movement to develop leaders in this county. But it's a challenge because we are a good old boy county. The way I would say it to the people listening is this. If you ask me, I have a degree in law enforcement police science, a fraud investigator for many years. If you came to me tomorrow and said, hey, did you hear about that city council member, they're meeting right across the hall here, that committed fraud and embezzled $1 million? We got them dead to rights. They signed a confession. What should we do to them? I'd say you throw the book at them, prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. That's what you need to do. You ask one of the good old boys that same question. Did you hear that city council member embezzled money, $1 million? We got them dead to rights. What do you think we should do? They go, well, which one is it? Because it matters to them, the relationship more than the principles. And so that's the battle that you have here in Montgomery County.
Yeah, but that's sad that they even had to
But
ask.
that's a fact. That is what happens, and I see it all the time here.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. But why don't we advertise and use the media more? What is the money that comes in? I know you want to get out the vote and that kind of thing, but what about getting out the vote and some of that money that goes to the media that and I don't know what you guys are doing with social media and how y'all work that, but to be on TV and see ads that talk about what we're doing and what our answers to the problems are.
Because that's really expensive to do, number one.
Yes.
We run a real shoestring budget with our party. I do have a podcast. I have over 1 million followers on my podcast, Texas Fully Loaded, every Tuesday and Thursday. I have people from all around the world, even the Kremlin watches our stuff, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
So we
have a
do try.
newsletter that goes out every month.
Yeah, we have a newsletter that's really good. We have done some Zoom calls for some state issues. We have helped other parties. I was in Austin testifying about some bad legislation. I communicate on a regular basis with the leadership of the Republican Party of Texas. So we are doing a lot for Montgomery County right now. But there's only a few of us. Now, it used to just be a couple of us, but I think Jackie will tell you we've built an amazing team over the past few years. We've got a world-class newsletter. Lisa Rayleigh's done an amazing job on our website. We have a great communication team with DJ Fike and Stephanie Cox. They do a lot of great work. We have our events people, our community outreach people, our fundraising people. We have built an amazing team, but we keep building it because it just can't be a couple of us. You get burned out that way.
Well, sorry, Cindy. It's your show.
Thank you.
Your show.
For remembering. But why can't you do a PSA? What keeps you from getting a PSA recommendation for the, so you don't have to buy the time, but you you use it as a PSA. You do something that's really educational or that's good for,
What are we doing here?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
what?
This is what we're doing.
No, I'm talking about on TV, to be able to be on TV, because the public service announcements that they do,
Well,
but it's
because-
brought to you by the Montgomery County Republican Party.
Well, because it's still advertising, number one. Number two, public service announcements. I mean, we're a private organization. I don't know how. I wouldn't even know how to do that. If you have information on how to do that, I'd be happy to look at it.
It's really weird looking at especially the future landscape of how to capture eyes, because it's almost now it's like reverted itself back to square one, where you have to do your own advertising in a way of becoming either like a personality or be involved with groups similar like to the GOP, but also like the Women's Republican Tea, or was it the
Women's Republican groups.
Like
there's
that's a big
bunch of them,
group,
yeah.
but like that's where it's almost where you have to start going, because when you go to TV, it's not very effective. If you go to, traditional avenues, it's just like, is that really an effective way to convince people, and also are they even seeing it?
Well, this county does need a
fine.
media group, though. To your point, a media push.
Yes.
We don't have anything. I mean, we had the Golden Hammer for a while, which tried to do some of this stuff, but it was like I ain't gonna say anything
Well,
about
the
it. It's
way you
over
buy,
with. Get in trouble. So.
Well, Lone Star
The way
Community
you buy
Radio
is
is
hard.
a nonprofit, so we try to do everything for everybody. So that's kind of the way our direction is, and we don't really go one direction or the other. Cindy, is that right?
No.
We do not
That's
go
right.
one way or another.
no, I'm talking about their group supporting a cause and talking about the cause and educating the people about a cause, and then say it brought to you by the Republican Party, and not trying to say this person, we're going
Well,
to
that's
shove
what the
this down your
prayer
throat.
event is about, the Full Armor of God prayer event. We do try to do those kinds of things. Our people are involved in a lot in the community.
Well, no, I mean, I think grassroots is everything. I think that's great. And also, when somebody does a testimonial, that's the highest form of advertising. That's the best. That's
It's like a
talk to
referral.
balance
Yeah.
of nature, and they'll tell you. That's all we need to do. We just need to. These people got results, good results. They're going to talk about them. That's all you need to do. And so it's something that I know there's loopholes. I know how people can get around different ways to be able to get their message out. It's just that eyeballs seeing you all as much as they can see you in a good light. I'm not trying to preach to you light. I'm just telling you, this is what we do. We do good stuff, and this is what we're trying to put out there and to advertise it. And I think locally, what to buy locally. This, the city of Conroe has its own TV station. Channel 12 is their station, and eventually that's going to become where people can put messages on there and.
But there's
use it.
rules, Cindy. You know this.
What?
There's rules.
I'm saying within staying in the rules. I'm saying you have to stay in the rules, but just to get your name, your face and everything out there. But because I don't know why the Republican Party nationwide doesn't use the money that I know they collect, the millions and millions of dollars that they collect, and they don't, and they're not using it to answer the problems that we have. And show people this is how we're going to change this. This is what we're going to do.
This is why we're
Not
the
just
better-
bad mouthing the other guy.
Yeah. In the arena of ideas, I think the Republican Party, has the better ideas.
Yeah.
And they always have had the better ideas. And the Democrat Party has gone so far off the reservation. I was excited when RFK Jr. announced that he was running for president.
I was too.
Because he is more of a centrist. He's still a Green New Deal kind of guy, but he's an anti-vaccine person. He thinks the COVID
Yes.
thing was a joke.
Right.
It was a travesty. And so that's good because he's pulling them back towards the middle, which they need because they're way off the reservation.
Boy, yeah. But it's a shame that he has that thing with his voice because that's going to be difficult for people to get through and get past a lot of times. And so, but his ideas, that would scare Biden. Because
But I would tell you that I'd say at least half of the precinct chairs have Facebook presence.
Yes.
And they post things on there of interest. They post the rallies and they post things going on in the legislation and what people should do outreach to the different people in Austin. about getting some things voted down, and there's a lot of outreach in that way. And they also use Nextdoor, which there's Nextdoors in different areas. So they'll promote things on there too to try to get people involved.
Well, as long as you guys concentrate on the families and these kids and to protect these kids, and that's what we got to do. Do that, and then a lot of things will fall in place. You get parents behind you. This is a strong family-oriented community, so it is. We love having you guys. We thank you, John Bouche and Jackie Williams. Thank you so much for being here. We're out. See, we've gone through our whole hour. And I just want to say to the first responders, we love you. We appreciate you. We respect you. Thank you for always being there. See you tomorrow.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.